You're watching the Joseline's Cabaret after show only on Damien After Dark. Welcome back. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat. I'd love for you guys to also support the channel by clicking the thumbs up button below and liking this video. Your support means the world to me. You can also donate to the channel if you're feeling generous. In the description box below will be ways that you can donate, and I appreciate that so much from each and every one of you. Also, join the conversation. I want to hear from you on what you thought about this episode. Leave me your thoughts and opinions, because, baby, it was an interesting one. But is Joseline's Cabaret ever not interesting? I don't know. I mean, this is my favorite show on the Zeus Network. You all know that. And I'm looking forward to breaking down episode 5 with you guys. Practice makes perfect. That's the title of the episode. Practice makes perfect. We're gonna do what we do best, and we're gonna jump right into the things. But before we do that, how was you guys' weekend? Did everybody have a good weekend? It went by too goddamn fast, right? I'm glad to be here with you all. And yeah, let's do it. So first things first. I don't know who the hell is styling Joseline, or if she's styling herself, or what is going on, but fire that stylist, Joseline. Throw those clothes away, because she has been looking a hot ass mess lately. Is it just me? Is it just me? Like, the looks that she's been serving on Instagram, the looks that she's been serving on the show is giving zeros across the board. It's just not cute. So the episode opens. We see her and Ballistic. They're in their hotel room. She's talking about the girls. And she's wearing, I don't know what she's wearing in that first scene, laying in the bed with that top hat on, looking like the Wicked Witch of the West Side, of the West End, whatever it's called in New York City, the Upper West Side, or what are you, I don't know. If you're from New York, y'all know what I'm talking about. So Ballistic brings up to Joseline Lucky. He brings up Lucky, and, you know, whether or not she's going to come back to the cabaret. And Joseline says that Lucky is a blood-sucking vampire. And she tells Ballistic about the gift that Lucky brought her in the last episode. Because if you remember, Lucky brought a gift trying to make peace with Joseline, even though she did nothing wrong in the first place, other than just exist and be sitting there. And Joseline says that the gift that Lucky brought her, she pretty much acts like she's beneath it. She says, what could she possibly afford to buy the Puerto Rican princess that I don't already have? Well, I could start by saying those trash ass clothes that you wearing. She could buy you that. A stylist, a new look, maybe. I know what she can't buy you though. A new attitude. She can't buy you dignity. She can't buy you class. She can't buy you self-respect. All the things that you lack, Miss Hernandez, Miss Puerto Rican princess. Now, next thing she tells Ballistic, Joseline tells Ballistic that she saw Abby's vagina. If you remember last week, Abby's the transgender girl, the only transgender girl on the cast. Joseline found out that she was transgender last week when Abby disclosed that to her. And what does Joseline do? Come here. Come here. She wants to see Abby's genitalia. And she tells Ballistic, quote, it looks like a virgin pussy that's never been touched before in her life. And then Ballistic says, Ballistic asks Joseline if Abby got her vagina from someone who was deceased. Joseline's pretty much telling Ballistic that she'd never seen such a little tight virgin pussy in her life like that. And Ballistic's like, well, did she get it from someone who passed on? I'm just like, are you slow, or did the coca-laka get to your head? Like, really? What she look like walking around with a dead pussy? with a dead woman's coochie on her. They don't do coochie transplants. Come on, Ballistic. You know listen, I don't know much about gender reassignment surgery, but what I do know, when you go from a male to a female, they either get rid of your male parts or they do something with your male parts to make it look like a coochie. They don't go get a dead woman's coochie and attach it down there. Oh, child, not the dead pussy. Then Joseline says, conveniently, trans lives matter. And I just don't know if she's being sincere. What do y'all think? It's hard for me to buy it from Joseline, especially after we saw that video, that body cam footage of those cops that were trying to arrest her, and the way she was hurling all those homophobic slurs and the F words that rhymes with maggots. She was spewing that to those police officers. She even said at one point, personally, I think deep down she looks at Abby as a man. I don't think Joseline is going to respect Abby as a transgender woman. I think she's going to always look at Abby as a man. I mean, she even slipped up and said, the one that's a man. I mean, the one who used to be a man, while talking to Ballistic. If you go back and rewind that scene and watch, you can see what I'm talking about. And we ain't letting you forget about that cop footage, Joseline. And that's why I have a hard time wondering, like, is she pandering to the community because she knows that she can't be openly homophobic on her show the way she might want to be, because she knows that the plug will get pulled, because she knows that most of the people that watch these shows are gay men and women, that she knows that she will possibly be canceled. And some of y'all may say, well, what's the difference? Well, why is she on her show saying this? She had no problem saying the F words when she was getting arrested. But also, if you watch that video, that body cam footage of Joseline being arrested when she called the cops the maggot word, she's also high out of her mind. In this scene with Ballistic, she's sober. You can tell she's clear. So she's got her public, she's being very conscious and strategic of what she says. Am I saying Joseline's homophobic? No, I don't know that. However, her behavior has exhibited it before. And I saw a lot of people in the comments saying on one video, well, she's LGBT herself. She's bisexual herself. Listen, y'all can say that all day long, but save it. Joseline is bisexual when it's convenient for her. Until she's in a full-fledged relationship with a woman, I don't buy that shit. Just because you licked a pussy once or twice in your life when you was growing up in the strip clubs don't mean you bisexual, okay? I know plenty of men who got their dick sucked by a man. That don't mean that they're gay. I don't care what nobody says, or bisexual. I don't care what nobody says. I refuse to believe that makes a person gay or bisexual or whatever. If I go out here tomorrow and give me some coochie, I'm still gay as fuck. I still love men. I still want to settle down and get married to a man. It don't make me any less gayer. I feel like Joseline puts up a front when it comes to this whole LGBT thing. I don't know. I'm starting to see right through the smoke and mirrors of it all. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Joseline's got some ways about her that are not so ethical when it comes to homosexuality, or is she trying to pander to us? Or do y'all think it's genuine? So Joseline's headed to pop up on the girls and see how they're doing. But before she gets there, Abby and Daisy are outside having a conversation, and then we see Lucky and Natural join. Lucky says she's trying to be in the cabaret really bad, and she doesn't want any beef with Joseline at all. And you know what? Let's just be real about it. Lucky, you're there for the check, mama. You ain't there because you want to be in the cabaret. You there because Zeus paid you good enough. You don't want to be there, and I don't blame you. Even though production is making it look like Lucky wants to be there because she keeps showing up. Every time Joseline tells her to leave, Lucky will show back up with a gift or something, trying to get back in Joseline's good graces. But again, as I told y'all last week, that is the producers. They tell Lucky to try to get back into Joseline's good graces because they want her a part of this show, and they've paid her good money. I mean, this is Lucky's third round, right? This is her third time being on this show. So she definitely got a bag. First time you go on a show, you ain't getting paid much. They ask you back. Second time you come on a show, you're going to get a little bit more. Third time you come back, oh, they're going to pay you a good little bag. She probably at least got $50,000 to come back or more. Or more if she played her cards right and she's got an attorney. She making bank. Well, bank to me. It may not be bank to some people, but 50,000 is bank to me. Also, I'm kind of liking Daisy being back on the show. At first, I was kind of because I didn't think Daisy really brought a lot personality-wise, and she really doesn't. However, I like with her being on the show, Lucky has an ally, because the rest of these girls are looking at Lucky like, well, if Joseline don't like you, I don't like you either. Daisy has worked with Lucky. She was on season 1 with Lucky. You know, they've had their moments. They've argued before in the past. However, with Daisy being in the house, it's like her and Lucky had this little alliance. They can look after one another. Even though there's no friends on this show, obviously. It's all a competition. Lucky ain't got to be by herself. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Daisy asks Abby how she feels about Joseline looking at her genitalia, her coochie, which I have to say, I've been thinking about that, and I just feel like it's wrong. It's a violation. Do y'all feel like that? Like, how you gonna ask to see my private area? You know, like, it's one thing for her to even ask one of the girls, asking one of the biological females. Like, it's rude to even do that, but you're asking somebody who's been through something traumatic, like gender reassignment surgery. People don't just wake up and decide to do that just to do it. That comes from gender dysphoria and you feeling like you don't feel right in your body at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine. No, we're not even gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that because we got a time limit here, and I could go on for days about some of this stuff. But Abby, you know, she said she was fine with it because she wanted Joseline to see her for who she is. And a lot of the girls in the house say they appreciate Abby because she's being forthcoming. She's right out the gate telling the girls that she's trans. She's not hiding anything. One of the girls said that she likes Abby because she's not disrespecting the biological women. And I mean, Abby is sweet. I really like her. She's one of the only ones that seems to be down to earth on this show, that seems to be like level-headed, cool, I could hang out with, you know? Really quick, do y'all notice, like, this is one thing I wish that Zeus would stop doing. Y'all notice, like, how planned out their scenes are? Okay, say we're going from one scene, and then we go to the next, and you see 5 girls in the living room just sitting there, and all of a sudden one of the girls are like, the scene starts and one of the girls are like, so how was your day today? And it's just like so unnatural, you know? Does that make sense? It was the scene with who was it? It was Danny, Yummy, Andrea, Spin, and it was another girl, and they were just sitting in the living room. The scene begins, and you would almost think that the producers were like, and action. So how was your day today? Like, I wish they would stop that and, like, just film the girls natural in their environment. Changing, walking through the house, talking naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad Girls Club. Like, I wish they would film it Bad Girls Club style. Like, we don't need to see them, okay, we want 5 of y'all to sit down right here, and then we want you, Andrea, to ask her how her day was going. Like, it's so contrived. Like, yeah. And speaking of Danny and Yummy and Andrea and Spin, y'all know who I'm talking about when I say Spin, right? She's the girl with, like, when she's not in the confessional, she's wearing her short natural hair, but when she's in the confessional, she's wearing that really big red Ronald McDonald wig, long red wig, and she, bless her heart, looking like Tales from the Crypt. Like, this is the thing, and I'm not trying to be nasty or bully, but she looks like a different person without her wig. She looks way better without all that synthetic, shiny ass shit on her head. And I'm talking about spin. Take the wig off, girl. Please. Please take it off, because you look so much better without. She scares me when she's got that red wig on. And that whenever she pops up on my screen in her confessional with that red wig on, I jump a little bit. I jump. Like, please, mama, take it off. Take it off. I don't know who told you that wig was no. Now, Lucky goes to Miss Natural about advice when dealing with Joseline. And Natural says she feels like Joseline has changed a lot. And she tells Lucky to just be positive. Changed a lot. Are we watching the same Joseline, Miss Natural? Like, shit, I feel like this is the same Joseline from season 1 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I feel like this is the same Joseline from season 1 of Joseline's Cabaret. Joseline ain't changed a bit. She ain't changed a bit. I don't know what change Lucky is seeing. Maybe she's getting a different perspective because they are dealing with Joseline a lot more than what we are seeing on the camera. So maybe, you know, she's seeing something we ain't seeing. I don't know. Now let's talk about, I've been waiting for this one. Let's talk about this scene with T-Love, Wet Wet, Holiday, and I forget the other girl's name that was in the kitchen with them. You know, I'm still learning all the names. I'm still learning all the names of these girls. I am going to try to interview each of the girls on this season, starting with Wet Wet. I reached out to Wet Wet about an hour ago. So I'm hoping that it all works out. We can get this interview done. I will put it here on YouTube. And like I said, I'm going to try to get the whole cast. We'll see what happens. Now, T-Love, Wet Wet, Holiday, they're all in the kitchen. And Holiday pretty much gets asked by one of the girls, who do you think the weakest links are in the group? And she says that Wet Wet is one of them. She says Wet Wet's one of the weakest dancers in the group. And T-Love decides to chime in while Wet Wet is defending herself. Because Wet Wet's pretty much like, well, I don't think I'm the weakest link. Y'all might think I'm the weakest link, but I don't think I'm the weakest link. And T-Love decides to open her big fat mouth and says, quote, "I'ma just be honest with you. You don't have the look at all to me. You've been on this show before. You should have upgraded your shit. Your titties still look like rocks. Your wig is cheap as fuck. You got craters in your skin. You should be going to see an esthetician. Ain't nothing about you cute." Now, did T-Love low-key read her? I ain't gonna say low-key, high-key. Did T-Love read Wet Wet her rights? Did T-Love read Wet Wet for filth? She did. I'm gonna have to give her that. Like, that was an old nasty read. Like, I felt bad for Wet Wet in that moment. Like I got secondhand embarrassment. But it came out of left field. Like, what the fuck did Wet Wet do to you? Like, y'all sitting here having a normal conversation between grown women. You can critique someone, give someone constructive criticism without being a straight up nasty ass bully. It was nasty. It was nasty what she did. They literally just walked in the kitchen and T-Love just goes in on Wet Wet. And it's all premeditated. It's all premeditated. T-Love is going in wanting to make her mark. She's wanting to be a standout. She's wanting to be asked back next season, but it's not going to work. It won't happen because it's not natural. It's not natural. It's premeditated. Like you going into these scenes thinking to yourself, I'm fixing to go off on Wet Wet when the cameras come up. And we'll talk about that in a second, how Wet Wet calls you out for being different when the cameras are on and when they're off. And you know what? Wet Wet can be all those things, T-Love. Wet Wet can be all those things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact about you, T-Love, that you are rotten to your core. And you're a bully. And you're nasty. And you can think that you're gorgeous. You can put makeup on and think you're some pretty thing. But at the end of the day, you are rotten to your core. Everything that comes out your mouth is just nasty. What kind of man wants to be with a woman like that? Should we even call you a woman? Because women don't speak like that to other women. This is how you treat other girls around you? You feel like you need to tear them down to make yourself feel better? Handsome Squidward? Huh? Because here's the thing. I thought T-Love was one of the most physically beautiful girls on the season. But after watching this, after seeing you the last few episodes, T-Love, you look like a pig's asshole to me. You could be gorgeous in the face all day long, but when you got that rotten spirit, when you got that devil spirit on you while you talking about, I'm a Christian, I don't do voodoo, girl, bye. You don't do voodoo, but you'll bust that pussy wide open for $2.50, won't you? Won't you? You're looking for a moment, sweetheart. You're looking for a moment, T-Love. Is T-Love going to be our biggie of the season? Is T-Love going to be our Chef D of the season? Is T-Love going to be our Sydney Star of the season? I believe she is. Girl, sit the fuck down. And don't ever come for Wet Wet like that again. Don't ever come for Wet Wet like that again. You can call Wet Wet all those things, and she can be all those things. But at the end of the day, what you can't take away from Wet Wet is that she will walk into a room with her head held high and confidence on 10. She don't care if her titties look like rocks. She don't care if her wig is stiff and cheap like Party City. She don't care what you say about her teeth or her skin. Mama gonna walk in, head held high, like she the baddest in the room and not give a fuck. And the difference between T-Love and Wet Wet is Wet Wet's got the personality. You ain't got the personality. You think you're gonna be asked back for season 5, T-Love? And Wet, I'm disappointed in you because had that been me, I would have read T-Love down from the motherfucking hair at the top of her head down to the corns and the bunions on the bottom of her feet. I would have gave it to her, which we see later. Wet gives her what she wants. She gives her the attention that she wants. And then we see T-Love talking shit about Lucky coming back into the house. She's talking shit about Lucky. And it's like, girl, who is you? Who are you? Like, who are you? So she goes from Wet, then she starts going in on Lucky, and then she turns her energy to Holiday. Because Holiday is talking about how she knows some of Joseline's people. She says she knows somebody named Shabazz that Joseline knows. And T-Love out of nowhere is like, do you really know them? Or are you just saying that? Because sometimes I feel like you be lying when you say you know people. It's giving hater vibes. It's giving big time hater vibes, T-Love. It's giving like big time hater vibes. Like, again, bitch, who the fuck is you? Who are you to be stepping up to any of these girls? Like honestly, we don't know you nor care about you. T-Love, you're trying to be that girl, and you will never be that girl. Ever. Go back to the strip club that you crawled out of, shaking your ass for $50 a night, and work on them dance moves. You so busy being in everybody else's business, trying to get a moment and some camera time off everybody else. What you need to do is take your ass downstairs to the basement and work on some of them stale ass dance moves, because your handsome Squidward looking ass couldn't even bust a 1-2 step or an electric slide when they were rehearsing. But you two motherfucking worried about Wet Wet and her wig. You mangy mutt. What Rolly said, you mangy mutt. And when one of these girls put the paws on your ass and drag you up and down that mansion, don't play the victim now. Because we saw you on next week's episode crying to Joseline. I think she was crying, trying to get emotional. Don't be playing that victim and the villain at the same time type shit. If you're gonna be the victim, stand in that victim shit. You're gonna be the villain, stand in that victim or that villain role. What Beyonce say? Whole lot of playing victim and the villain at the same time. Right? Whole lot of. I don't know. I ain't here for it. And then T-Love decides to be even more messier and bring up to Holiday, aren't you dating somebody in the house? Again, who the fuck are you? Now you all up in my pussy, bitch. Now you worry about who I'm fucking. Like, if somebody don't check handsome Squidward, I don't like a bully. T-Love is a messy bitch. I don't like a messy bitch. I don't trust her. And if I were these girls, I would be straight up be like, I ain't filming no scene with her. Shady bitch, I don't trust this hoe. Now, the girls are rehearsing downstairs. Miss Natural is kind of instructing them. And Miss Natural is, if anybody should be the cabaret captain and instructing these girls, it should be Miss Natural. She's got the dance moves down pat. And she's one of the only few girls there that actually is skilled in this choreography and dancing. I'm watching everyone practicing, and I just see Wet Wet, and I'm like, oh God, because I want Wet Wet to stay. I want her to stay till the end, but I don't know if she's gonna make it. I mean, she might make it off of the fact that her personality is a lot and she's good for TV, but when it comes to the dancing part, she can't keep up either. She's watching everybody trying to keep up. She don't know what she's doing. And I'm just like, come on, Wet Wet. You gotta, anytime, any free time you have, be practicing. I would know that dance in my sleep. Get jiggy with it. Whatever they do. Get jiggy with it. Hey, get jiggy with it. You know, whatever the little dance is, I would know it by heart. Okay? Like, come on, Wet Wet. Now, here comes Joseline walking into practice with her stank attitude that she's always got. All the girls are, trying to put on a happy face and be excited to see her. Yay! Joseline walks in, they're like, yay, woohoo, Joseline. And what does Joseline say? Y'all look like shit. She said, y'all look like shit. Now, what do y'all think of the 4 girls that Joseline chose to dance with her in Miami at the Floyd Mayweather fight? Do y'all agree with those 4 girls that she chose? Because she chose Natural, Andrea, the girl who had the voodoo doll, Yummy, and I forget the other girl's name that she chose because she's in one of the new girls and she's not an OG and she really doesn't stand out. Like, she's really not in a lot of the show. But so far, I mean, I think I agree with her 4, I think so. Now, out of nowhere, again, Lucky is sitting there minding her business, and Joseline out of nowhere says, Lucky, get out. Get out. Just kicks her out, tells her to get out. Lucky gets up and leaves. Now, see, that's how you know you got power over somebody, when you can be sitting there doing absolutely nothing but breathing the air. That's how you know you got power over somebody, where they literally walk in and they're affected by your presence. Just like that. And that is Joseline with Lucky. She is so intimidated by this girl. I want to know, what did Lucky do? Does anybody out there know? Was there some social media beef? What did Lucky do that pissed Joseline off so bad? Joseline's yet to give us a reason other than her having bad energy, and I'm not seeing any bad energy. The only bad energy I've seen is from the wicked witch of the West Side, of the Upper West Side. And I mean, even the choreographer, what's his name, Ricardo? I don't know. I don't remember what his name is. The choreographer even tries telling Joseline, well, you know, Lucky, she's one of the ones who's hungry. She's here for you. She wants to dance. Like, she wants this. And Joseline ain't hearing it. She tells him, she tells her choreographer to stop talking to her. Stop talking to me. I mean, do you want to look good? Do you want the best dancers? Or are you going to play off your emotions? Because it seems like it's personal to her for some reason. And Lucky ain't did shit. Now, Wet, while all this is going on, Wet and T-Love are sitting on a couch in the rehearsal space, and they're going back and forth, and they're talking a little bit, and you can tell it's kind of getting a little heated, and Joseline says, what y'all arguing about? And Wet says, this bitch T-Love, when the cameras are down, she's cool. But when the cameras come up, she's got a problem all of a sudden. Now, doesn't this sound familiar? You hear me? You at home. Are you listening? Doesn't this sound familiar? Wet says that T-Love is different when the cameras are off than she is when the cameras are on. Who does that sound like to y'all? Biggie, Chef D, Sydney Star. I told y'all she's going to be our Sydney Star of the season. She's going to be our Biggie of the season. These thirsty ass clout chasing bitches who come on these shows and turn into actresses when the cameras turn on. This is reality TV. Stop acting. Stop trying to give us what you think we want to see. Be you, bitch. Be you. I'm going to get t-shirts made that says that. Be you, bitch. Be you. Because everybody else is taken. There ain't nobody else out there like you. Stop trying to emulate everything that you see on TV. Because you think that's what we want to see. And then T-Love has the nerve to call Wet a bully. Really? Coming from the girl who literally walked in the kitchen and started dogging Wet's appearance from head to toe. Who's the real bully? Who's the real bully, T-Love? And they're arguing, they're going back and forth, and all of a sudden, Wet says, I'm fixing to give this bitch the moment that she wants. You want a moment? I'm going to give you a fucking moment. Wet stands up on the couch. Next thing you know, pop! Well, it wasn't quite like that. I'm not going to give Wet that much. But she did swing on her. And it did look like it connected. Now, we didn't see the rest of the fight because they ended the episode and left it on a cliffhanger for next week. So we're going to pick back up next Sunday night right here on Damien After Dark with the Joseline's Cabaret after show. You don't want to miss it each and every Sunday night. So make sure you meet me back here. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you are subscribed. Turn on your post notifications. That way, YouTube will notify you when the next after show is available and goes live. So subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Also, if you do not mind, I would appreciate it if you would like this video and support the channel. And if you're feeling generous, you can support by donating to the channel as well. All you guys' tips and donations are appreciated. I will put that information in the description box below. There's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. You can also use a super thanks, which is YouTube's way of tipping us creators here. Just be mindful that YouTube does take 50% of the earnings that you guys do tip us creators, okay? Last but not least, join the conversation and leave me your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think about this episode? And what do you think about Joseline having this hard on for Lucky? Do y'all think Joseline is going too far when it comes to Lucky? Or do you think she's justified? And what do you guys think about T-Love versus Wet Wet? Whose side are you on? Do you think T-Love is a bully? Or did Wet Wet deserve what T-Love gave her? And what do you guys think about Wet Wet putting the pause on T-Love there at the end? I want to hear from you, so make sure you join the conversation and hop in those comments below. I love you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the Blueface and Krishan Crazy in Love after show as well. We'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. Mwah. See ya.